Shalom, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Beaton. We are reading today from the book of John, starting at chapter 12. John, chapter 12, verse 1. 1. Then Yahshua came 6 days before the mercy, salvation, and Passover to Bethany, where Eliezer, Lazarus, was, whom he raised from the dead. 2. There they made him a supper, and Martha served. But Eliezer, Lazarus, was one of them that sat at the table with him. 3. Then took Miriam a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Yahushua, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the Beth house was filled with the fragrance of the ointment. 4. Then said one of his disciples, Yehuda of Quiriath, Judah Iscariot, Shimon's son, which should betray him. 5. Why was not this ointment sold for 300 silver coins, and given to the poor? 6. This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, and had the bag, and bare what was put therein. 7. Then said Yahshua, let her alone, against the day of my burying has she kept this. 8. For the poor always you have with you, but you have not me always. 9. Much people of the Yehudim therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Yahshua's sake only, but that they might see Eliezer, Lazarus, also, whom he had raised from the dead. 10. But the chief Kohanim consulted that they might put Eliezer, Lazarus, also to death. 11. Because that by reason of him many of the Yehudim growing in trust and believed on Yahushua. 12. On the next day, many people that had come to the Moed, the celebration, when they heard that Yahushua was coming to Jerusalem. 13. Took branches of palm etzim trees, and went forth to meet him, and cried, Hoshiana, blessed is the King of Israel, that comes in the name of Yahweh. 14. And Yahshua, when he had found a young donkey, sat thereon, as it is written. 15. Fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, your king comes, sitting on a donkey, colt. 16. These things understood not his disciples at first, but when Yahshua was esteemed, then they remembered that these things were written of him, and that they had done these things to him. 17. The people therefore that was with him when he called Eliezer, Lazarus, out of his tomb, and raised him from the dead, bear record. 18. For this cause the people also met him, for that they had heard that he had done this miracle. 19. The Pharisees therefore said one to the other, You see, you can do nothing. Behold, the whole world is run off after him. 20. And there were certain Greeks among those that came up to pay homage at the Moed celebration. 21. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would like to see Yahushua. 22. Philip went and told Andrei, and again Andrei and Philip told Yahushua. 23. And Yahushua answered them, saying, The hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. 24. Verily, verily, I say to you, except a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. 25. He that loves his life shall lose it, and he that has no concern for his life in this world shall keep it to eternal life. 26. If any man serve me, let him follow me, And where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Ab respect. 27. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Av, rescue me from this hour. But for this very cause I come to this hour. 28. Av, glory your name. Then came there a voice from Shamayim, saying, I have both esteemed it, and will glory it again. 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. Others said, a messenger spoke to him. 30. Yeshua answered and said, this voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. 31. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the ruler of this world be cast out. 32. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to me. 33. This he said, signifying what death he should die. 34. The people answered him, we have heard out of the Torah that Messiah abides forever. And why do you say, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? 35. Then Yeshua said to them, yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon ye. For he that walks in darkness knows not where he is going. 36. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may be the children of light. These things spoke Yeshua, and departed, and did hide himself from them. 37. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. 38. That the saying of Yeshayahu, Isaiah, the prophet, might be fulfilled, which he spoke, who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of Yahweh been revealed? 39. Therefore they could not believe, because that Yeshayahu, Isaiah, said again. 40. He has blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. 41. These things said Yeshayahu, Isaiah, when he saw his glory and spoke of him. 42. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the Qahal. 43. For they love the praise of men more than the praise of Elohim. 44. Yeshua cried and said, he that believes on me believes not on me, but on him that sent me. 45. And he that sees me sees him that sent me. 46. I am come as a light into the world, that whosoever believes on me should not abide in darkness. 47. And if any man hears my words and does not keep them, I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to rescue the world. 48. He that rejects me and receives not my words has one that judges him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. 49. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Av which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. 50. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatever I speak, therefore, even as the Av said to me, so I speak. So that now brings us to the end of John chapter 12. So let's go back and have a look at some of the footnotes in John chapter 12. Okay? So the first footnote we have is in verse 1. Then Yeshua came 6 days before the mercy, salvation and Passover to Bethany, where Eliezer, Lazarus, was. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Lazarus was. So Lazarus was raised after 4 days, as the Jews believed that the spirit of the dead person hovered over him for 3 days, and that on the 4th day no hope was left for the dead to be raised. His spirit had departed. However, Yahshua ben David here showed his ultimate power, that the wording for the Passover, which means to protect, to save, to give mercy, he raises Lazarus against the impossible summoning his spirit back, something that had never happened before, in like manner. And the man is raised by Yahshua, who is the Messiah, and Yahweh upon the earth revealed in the flesh. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 2. There they made him supper, and Martha served, but Eliezer, Lazarus, was one of them that sat at the table with him. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So this was likely a rabbinic pre-rehearsal meal for the Passover that rabbis did at that time. Okay, so that meal was a pre-rehearsal meal. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 9. Much people of the Yehudim therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Yahshua's sake only, but that they might see Eliezer, Lazarus, also, whom he had raised from the dead. So let's have a look at this. So Yahshua was talk of the town because he raised Eliezer, Lazarus. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 11. Because that by reason of him, many of the Yahudim growing in trust and believed on Yahushua. Okay, so let's look at this, growing in trust. So we have here, so the Greek word here, the coordinates are G5217. The Greek word is hupago, spelled H-O-O-P-A-G-O. In many New Testament translations is mistranslated to go away by the translators for the underlining Hebrew word, but in the Hebrew means to trust more. Once again, showing us the Hebrew origin of this gospel account. Okay. So raised from the dead means to trust more, because they're believing on Yahshua, to trust more. Okay, once again showing us the Hebrew origin of this gospel account. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 13. Took branches of palm etzim trees and went forth to meet him, and cried, Hoshiana, blessed is the King of Israel that comes in the name of Yahweh. Okay, so we have here from Psalm 118:26. So let's have a look at Psalm 118:26. So Psalm 118:26, and it reads, Blessed is he that comes in the name of Yahweh. We praise you out of the house of Yahweh. Okay, so we have a footnote for in the name of Yahweh. So it reads here, the day the Hebrew people say this benediction, that is the day Messiah comes to Israel, and not on the day worldwide evangelism completes, or we distribute Bibles to the whole world, which is a Christian dogma, not found in scriptures. Okay? So the day the Hebrew people say this benediction, that is the day Messiah comes to Israel. Okay? So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 15. Fear not, daughter of Zion. Behold, your king comes, sitting on a donkey's colt. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Sitting on a donkey's colt. So quoted from Zechariah 9 and 9. So let's have a look at Zechariah 9 and 9. So Zechariah 9 and 9, and it reads, Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king comes to you. He is just and having rescue, lowly and riding upon a donkey, and upon a colt, the foal of a donkey. Okay, so we have a footnote here. So the footnote reads, Zechariah 9, 1-8. The prophecy is seen of two ancient kings by the past interpreters as the prophecy of Alexander the Great, who will come and destroy all those cities mentioned. The one is characterized by pomp and the other with righteousness and humility. Jerusalem is spared as stated in verse 8. He goes and conquers Syria, Hamath, Damascus, conquers Phoenicia, Ashkelon, Gaza, Akron, and Ashdod. Josephus mentions Alexander sparing Jerusalem in Antiquities 11:8, 3-5. There is no doubt that the prophecy could still have a further fulfillment in the future when the great battle is fought with the Islamic armies. However, verses 7 and 8 did not have fulfillment in Alexander the Great, so it applies to a future anti-Messiah king from the Islamic lands. The first king that comes is not Jewish. While the second king in verse 9 is both Jewish and of the 12 tribes and yet to come. Rabbi Hillel was one of the opinion that there will be no Messiah for Israel because they have enjoyed him already by pointing to Hezekiah the king. However, Rabbi Joseph pointed out that Hezekiah was the king in the first temple period and not the second, and by this Rabbi Hillel erred, as this prophecy speaks about the second temple and not the first. Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 99a. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just, having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass. The other issue is kings rode on horses and not on asses. The Christians point to Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem on a colt. The only issue is Matthew spoke about two animals, an ass and a colt, while some other Gospels only mention one. Matthew 21, 1-11, how Jesus could sit upon two animals at the same time. Matthew 21, 7, and brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. However, the Sanhedrin rejected this proclaimed king as stated. Matthew 21, 15. And when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple, and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were sore displeased. 16. And said unto him, Hearest thou what these say? And Jesus said unto them, Yea, have ye never read, out of the mouth of babies and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? So therefore verse 9 had a future fulfillment. Okay? So for more understanding on that, I think you should also read Zechariah 9, 1 to 8. Okay, Zechariah 9, 1 to 8, Matthew 21, 1 to 11, and Matthew 21, 7, which I've just read actually. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 17. The people therefore that was with him when he called Eliezer, Lazarus, out of his tomb and raised him from the dead, bear record. Okay, so let's have a look at this, bear record. So we have, note, Eliezer, Lazarus, died 5 years after this event. Okay, so Eliezer died 5 years after that event. Okay, so that now brings us to the end of John chapter 12. So I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. This is Rabbi Beaton saying thank you for watching. Baruch Shem Kivod Makuto Leolam Va'ed. Benevolent be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever. Amen. Thank you for watching, and shalom shalom.